Jwhackers, Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. We have already set up part of my Erin Condren monthly planner. I posted that video earlier this week. Make sure you check it out if you missed it. I laid down my monthly layout as well as the overall monthly budget, as well as some paycheck budgeting and some debt stuff. So lots of stickers went down. It was a longer video, but one thing that I saved and said I was going to do a separate video on was the sinking funds, and that is because I have some work to do with reorganizing my sinking funds. If you have never watched one of my budget videos and this is your first time here, welcome. You wouldn't know that I keep my sinking funds in cash, and I use an accordion folder from Amazon to keep everything neat and organized. I love this accordion folder because it's got a flat bottom, so whenever I need to get into this and pull out cash and transfer things from one place to another, it stands up really nicely. It does a great job. It holds all of my various sinking funds. Each of those sinking funds gets its own little tab that I have just labeled here with my label maker. And behind that tab, there is an index card where I can keep track of the comings and goings in each fund, as well as the cash. This has worked out phenomenal for me. I did this throughout 2020. It was awesome. The only problem is that when I started out in 2020, I only had, like 10 or 11 sinking funds. And then throughout the year, as I discovered I needed more sinking funds, I would add them, but they were out of alphabetical order then. So you can see it starts in alphabetical order with Amazon Prime and then Anniversary and Campground. But then as you get towards the back, you see that I stuck in some more things, like I have YouTube here, and then after YouTube I have Debt Snowball, which obviously doesn't fit alphabetically and also is not even something that I use anymore. So I need to go in and organize these, relabel everything. I know that I could probably use like a paper label and that would be easier to transfer. There is a little slot here where I could do that, but I like my label maker. It's nice and neat, and it's nice and big and helps me to see. These tabs are kind of small. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a good hard look at all of my sinking funds and decide which ones I want to keep and continue in 2021, which ones I can let go of, and then we're going to organize this accordion folder and get everything put down in my deluxe, nope, it's not a deluxe monthly anymore. They just call it the monthly planner from Erin Condren with my beautiful Caffeinated Kate stickers. So this will probably be a longer video. If this is something you are interested in, just keep on watching. But before you do, head on up there and click that like button. So before I do anything else with that accordion folder, I'm going to flip to January in my monthly planner. You can see I have my monthly laid down. If you want to watch me put this together, like I said, check out that other video. But I did leave a space here right at the start of the month for my sinking fund tracker. And so we're going to set that up together today. I have these beautiful printable stickers from Caffeinated Kate. I will link her printable shop as well as her physical sticker shop down below. If you are capable of making your own stickers, if you have like a silhouette portrait or a Cricut cutter, you can absolutely use her printable shop like I have done. Purchase the stickers, download them, and then you can print and cut them as many times as you want. But if you don't have that capability, you can still get beautiful stickers from Caffeinated Kate. She will print them, cut them, and mail them right to you. And her stuff is beautiful quality. I highly recommend. Okay, so the reason why I've gone ahead and put this down first is because I need to go through my sinking funds and figure out which ones I want to keep and put them in alphabetical order and which ones I want to get rid of. So I figure making a list is the easiest way to do it, and making a pretty list just makes me happy. So what I will do is figure out which funds I'm going to keep, write them down here alphabetically, and then we will go about organizing this guy, which I'm excited about. So give me a minute to do some finagling and figure out exactly which funds are going to work for me in 2021 and which ones I can leave in 2020, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went through my list of sinking funds and I made a few changes. Primarily everything that we were saving for in 2020 has been moved over to 2021. I just finagled a few things. Did I forget something? Oh my goodness, you guys, I forgot something. I forgot holidays. And it goes all the way up here. Well, I have an erasable pen, but I'm not going to erase all of these. I'm just going to stick holidays down at the end, which I know is going to drive someone crazy. It's kind of driving me crazy, for being honest, but I don't want to erase everything else. If it was just 1 or 2 lines, I would totally erase it. I love the Parkoo pens because they're erasable, but that's a lot of stuff to erase. So we're just going to stick holidays at the end. And when I do my alphabetical order for my accordion folder, we will make sure that we stick holidays in where it goes. So that's fine. It is what it is. All right, so what I have done is I've split a couple of things up, and I'm going to go over that now. So my sinking funds for 2021, and they're subject to change. I may add or take away things throughout the year as the year progresses, but for now, I'm going to have Amazon Prime, anniversary, birthdays, campground, and campground electricity. This used to all go into one fund, but realistically, the campground is an annual campground fee that gets paid once a year, and the campground electric is just our electric bill from the campground. We do pay every month to have electric at the campground, and it varies, and I don't like to include it in my just typical weekly budget, so I'm going to have a sinking fund for it and keep it separate. That way I know for sure I'm going to reach my campground goal by October when it needs to be done, and the campground electric I can take from as needed. Similarly, I broke up car maintenance and car tabs. This used to all be in one envelope, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be really specific. So we just renewed our car tabs, so that fund will have nothing in it to start, but we will start adding money to this regularly as well as for car maintenance. I want to have it separate, so that's what I decided to do. Then I have Christmas, which is an obvious one, clothing for, you know, inevitably replacing our clothing items or buying something new, gasoline. You guys know if you've watched my videos how I do my gas, but if you're new here, I set aside $40 every single week for gas. What I don't put into my gas tank goes into this gas sinking fund, which I have a cap of about $160 for this fund, and that is just like enough for a whole month's worth of gas. I don't feel it necessary to hold on to more than that. So this fund is actually full, and I won't be adding to it unless I need to take money away, like if we need to use more gas than what I budget for in the week. But that is what that is for. Then I have haircuts, which is pretty self-explanatory. I've changed home maintenance to just home because I realized that we take money out of this, yes, for home maintenance, like if we need to repair something, but this is also home projects. It's also anything kind of extra that we need or want for the home. So I just left this as more broad with home, and I just zoomed you guys in so you could actually see what I'm doing. Sorry, you guys. So we have home insurance. We pay our insurance on our home once a year. Hunting, that's for my husband to be able to purchase his deer tags and stuff for hunting season, as well as anything else that he needs. Pets, that's for like vet visits for my cats. It's not like pet food that is part of our grocery budget, pet food and pet litter and that sort of thing. This is more like emergency vet visits or anything that comes up like that. P.O. Box, I do have a P.O. Box that I keep open all year so that, if you guys want to send me a card, you can do that. Or if I get offered to review something, I have the company send it to my P.O. Box. So that I just use primarily for YouTube, but that is paid once a year in April. It's not a very large amount that I have to pay, but it's still something that I don't want to forget about, so I have a sinking fund for that. Property taxes, that is for the property taxes we pay in summer and winter. I have a general savings, which we will put anything that we are saving for into that. I plan on doing a 52-week savings challenge, so all the money will go into that fund, as well as anything else. If we have multiple things that we're saving for, what I will do is I will do an envelope for each various savings, and that will all go behind the savings tab. School expenses, so back to school, clothes, school supplies, school clubs, anything like that will come out of there. The boys, this is just a place where I can keep cash that my children have asked me to hold on to for them if they're saving for something. They each have their own cash envelope. That works out really well. Then we have vacation. We aren't going to be going on super extravagant vacations. This essentially will be money that we use for like our camping trips and whatnot. YouTube, this is where I keep my tax money for YouTube. YouTube doesn't collect taxes, so you have to kind of save it yourself so that when it comes time to pay those taxes, you have it. So that's what that is for. And then of course holidays, which I stuck here at the end, and I know that's going to drive you guys crazy, I'm sorry. But holidays are for all of the other holidays that aren't Christmas. So think 4th of July, Easter, that sort of thing. I will just save for those as those things are starting to come up, and that will all go behind holidays. So that is a list of my sinking funds for 2021. I'm so excited. I need to stick in my little title here, which I realized I forgot. So that will go there, and I was totally out of frame when I stuck that down, so I apologize. I'm also going to stick down this little total sticker here. And I'm just going to skip a line in case something else comes up. If I add too many more sinking funds, I'm going to run out of space. So I'll have to keep that in mind. But that is a look at my sinking fund spread. What I will do now is set up the transaction log on the other side. I want to keep track. I'm going to attempt to keep track of the spending that I do within my sinking funds. Here, I usually do that on that index card, and I will continue to do that, but I want to have it here as well so that I don't have to physically pull out the accordion folder every time I want to check and see what I spent. So we'll see how that goes. I may not do that in the future if I find that I don't enjoy using it, but for now I'm going to try it out. So I'm going to flip here and get this put down real quick and easy. It's just the header and transaction log. And then this little strip that says date, description, plus, minus, and balance. So anytime that I add or take money away from a sinking fund throughout the month of January, I will write it in here. And then I'll stick the total down at the very bottom so we can total everything up. Alright, so that is that. Now, let's go ahead and pull in my label maker and start making new labels for this accordion folder. I actually realized that I do still have the little tabs that came with the accordion folder, So what I'm going to try to do is actually print out the labels just a little bit smaller and put them right here on these. That way I can slip them into the tabs and they're easier to move around. I wasn't going to do that, but I think I'm going to give it a try. The worst thing that can happen is I pull them out and do something different if I don't like it, right? So I have my label maker here. It's just a Dymo super affordable label maker. It's the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. In here I have some clear label paper, and I'm just going to start making labels for these, and I'll get them stuck on, and I'll get my folder all set up. Okay, so I did that, and I hate it. I really don't like that at all. So I'm going to go back to my original plan, which is to just print the labels and put them right on the outside of the tab. So I'm going to peel these old labels off, put the new labels on, get everything in order, and then we will count up the funds and update the starting amounts here in the planner. Okay, so that was actually a lot more work and a lot more tedious than what I expected, but I went in and I changed all of my labels, which are now even harder to see than they were before because they're clear and the label's a little bit smaller, but I can see them, so that's all that really matters. Each one of my funds has its own tab now. I went in and added all of the funds, counted everything up, made sure everything was accurate. I added in index cards for the new sinking funds that didn't have them, so those are all set and ready to go when I'm ready to add more money. And I went ahead and wrote down everything that is in each of the accounts, and so that way when I am ready to stuff my sinking funds throughout the month, I can figure out at a glance which funds I need to be focusing on, because you guys know I don't add money to every single sinking fund every single week. I pick and I choose which funds to fund based on what we have coming up, what our priorities are, and what's empty. So like right now my clothing fund is empty. That's something I probably should focus on a little bit. Savings is completely empty, but that will be added to every week with my 52 savings challenge, which I'm super excited, my 52-week savings challenge rather. School expenses is empty, so that might be something to think about. Vacation. But then also there's the funds that I add to almost every single week, like our campground fund and our Christmas fund. So this will definitely help me kind of pick and choose which funds to focus on each week, and it'll be a really easy way to glance and see exactly how much I have in a fund. So if my son is looking like he needs a haircut, I can really quickly flip to this page and look and see, okay, we have $50 in our haircut fund, so I can take him for a haircut. Which is so much easier than having to go into my bedroom, open my safe, find my accordion folder, and flip through and pull out the cash and count it. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. I think it'll work out nicely. Again, I don't know how well the transaction log will work. We'll see if I can keep up with it, but overall, I'm super happy with this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, keeping me company while I did that. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe it gave you some ideas as to what sinking funds you can add for 2021. If you found this helpful or you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what sinking funds you have that I don't have. Maybe I'll get some ideas from you guys. And that is going to do it until my next video. So I will see you guys then. Bye!